Okay. Then can you make it, give us a little bit more ya-da-dee-dee? Then you have to, right? Does that sound like what you want? Okay. Then you have to make it, can you sing what you want? Can you sing it like how you would like want to present it? It's okay if it's like, yeah, it won't be, yeah, it's okay, it's okay. Okay, ya-da-dee. Because the ya needs time. See how you just, when I told you to go louder, you went ta. You said ta, ta-da-da-dee. Because you realized that you needed an attack on the note. Your natural instinct was to say ta, even though you said it was going to be a ya. Interesting, right?
Maybe I don't want the first note to be exactly the same, but maybe not ya, but something else, like a bit longer.
Yeah, a bit longer then, because if it's going to be a ya, then it should be ya-da-dee-dee. See how I need that that. What is that? And then you reverse engineer it, and then you try ya-da-dee-dee. Then it would require a little bit of this. Require that. And I think that it could work if you had the others like that. If you go, then if you start with a ta, or the hard consonants, then the others can be not like consonant. What is the opposite of consonant? Vowel. It could be a vowel. Thank you. So if I go like that, then can be more of like that. But then I have to go make a consonant again. But if I go, then you'll notice these have to be. So it's all about that balance. But at the end of the day, you need to create these differences create dimension. Dimension creates interest and like, wow, like, yeah. So otherwise, if a person was always the same and always talking like this, it would just be like very boring. And you know, it's like, yeah. So you have to have a conversation. Platon, what are you thinking about? What are you thinking? What is in your head right now? What are you thinking?
Well, about the phrase.
Yeah, but I think you're thinking about not what we just talked about, right?
I was thinking to hold the volume higher and just.
Okay, good.
The first three notes.
But then think about like, how are you going to play those three notes?
Okay, I'm going to try something a bit.
I mean, it doesn't have to be that, but now you're thinking about the three notes, like, right? And you can try different things. Because if you're always thinking, I realize like when we think big, it's like we think about phrase, we think about like the things, it doesn't get to the details. It doesn't trickle down enough. And the details are what, I get a sense from your persona, your personality and the way you play, you're serious about the violin. Like, you're not just here to play violin for fun. I mean, for fun too, but like, I have a sense that you really want to like make that next level, which is why these comments apply to you, right? So when you're doing that, that's why like I want you to focus on the details as well, right? It is important. Okay, remember how we talked about the three parts of the notes? Now I want you to focus on the end of the note. Why? Because in this particular, just the phrase, the entrance, it's like da 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 da. The same motive comes again and again and again, right? How are you going to make them different? How are you going to string them together is the question. Notice what I did at the end of the D sharp. Maybe I came in a little early. And we don't always have to do the same thing. Okay, it's been a while, but it's something where it's not just, oh, and then you're already thinking about the next thing, right? Details. All right. Think about the end of the D sharp.
Is it good if I start like 1/4 the first phrase and then go gradually up? Because I feel like if I start 3/4 in the beginning, I can't go anymore.
Yes, I see what you're fearing. You're thinking about like if you start already so big. So I often think about that too because we only have a max, right? Max, like in terms of volume of sound. But then there's also the immediacy. Like how do you balance that? And that's something that I often think about. That's like you can increase the maximum of your violin. So that's one thing that we talked about with the strings and all that kind of stuff. I think that will help because then suddenly you have the ability to change the sound. See how sharp the sound is? Right? And this is a pretty small hall. So in a 2,000-seater hall, I can create more and more tension with rhythm. I can go forward, like I rushed forward there a little bit. If you start softer, you could also do that as well. It depends, but then you have to do something because the way you played it was the same over and over. So although you say, yeah, you want to increase, I'm not hearing that increase. So we're figuring out different ways. Yeah. So Platon, the way you played was the same each time, right? Don't you think that? So you got to find like what are things that you can change easily? Like we can not really hold notes much louder. Held notes are hard. So I would say are an easy way to make it seem bigger or smaller. Maybe a little quicker. And then like that. That's also another way as well. But notice how I changed those, right? So think about those. Yes? Come in earlier and maybe there, da 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 da. Oh. Yeah, and this is the top, right? The da, da, da. So you need, okay, what we just talked about was good. I definitely felt a bit of like, ooh, like there's some sort of anticipation, right? You're managing to grab something. And then that's why I was like, but you could come in earlier here. You know, to come in a little even earlier. And then here, you need a... You know, you need on the articulation, re-articulate. You don't notice how I do that? It's like it creates a thing like that. Yeah. So, ba da 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 da. From the last one, dee 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 dee. Okay, wait. Can you do that? Have you done an up-bow articulation?
Okay.
Have you done that before?
I don't remember, but I will try now.
Yeah, try. Meet it with the violin. Yeah, but put your violin more like this, because it's like this. It's like that, but with the up bow. Right? Very useful. Yeah. Yeah. The end, you finally reach this. So you've been like. Right? Now it's like the hero comes, the hero arrives. It's like, wow, here comes like, you know, player one is here. Like, da, da, dee, dee. Oh, you like what I did there? Yeah, okay, so, ya, da, dee, dee. So, just at the end of the writ. Okay, the thing is, do you play any sports? Tennis?
Exactly, not
Football?
No.
Anything? Anything where you punch a thing or kick a thing or whack a thing or?
I'm just hiking.
Hiking?
Hiking.
Is that a sport? Okay. Well, before we get into that philosophical question, my parents love hiking, so I think it's very healthy. You know, high altitude gets the blood, you know, heart pumping. So the thing about violin and why I asked you about tennis or soccer or football, anything where you play, just protect your hands, but is that when you have to, the concept of follow through. You understand? Like tennis players or like when they hit a ball, they don't just like, oh, I hit it and then that's it, I can stop. Or a baseball, you know? It's like they hit it and they keep going through. So the same thing is for violin. Or when you're you know, punching, you don't just stop when you punch. You always punch through, right? And then you start from your leg and you go through. Like the hip rotates and goes like that. So the same thing, golf, tennis, anything, it's always done with the full body. And the same for violin, actually. That creates much bigger than like that, right? You're stopping. So follow through. Like that. It's not just look stylish. Trust me. It creates that effect, that sound. It's not just an effect, yeah, it creates the sound, yeah. Yeah, you had, I mean, it added like a little bit. You added like 10%. It was like a baby. Whew. Like, but okay, think about the energy coming from the ground. Do you feel like the spring? You know how some people, when they play, they even do this? They like bend down on their knees.
It's really interesting.
You haven't noticed like some players and they're like, you know, I think it's a bit much, but certainly like to feel your whole body, right? And then feel when you're playing, your bow should just be like it's being pushed by your body, right? It's not like this. There's a part of it that goes like this from the back, and then it goes up bow. It's like a swing. Like imagine if your arm was more floppy, and your hand was the only thing that was steady. Then it's like that. Down bow is like a pull. Up bow is like a swish thing. Then very powerful, right? Then you're combined with the left hand, like the arm. It's just an anchor that then gets you to be able to create any type of sound that you want, right?
If I try to exaggerate.
Yes, exactly. Always go over when you're trying something new. Oh, good. And now quick, fast at the end. Yum. Yes. Okay, did you hear the difference? Yeah. Did you hear the difference? You heard the difference a little bit, right? So, yeah, I heard the difference a little bit too. So do more of that, okay? And then continue. Ya da di di. Okay, one thing that's going to help is, okay, two things. What are you thinking of here? What is the character?
I think like it's a French choir singing, like a French.
Like a choir?
Yeah.
Oh.
Choir. So.
Like more like ha, like that?
I mean, I believe that was the inspiration for Ysaÿe.
For sure.
I'm not so sure about the character, if the violin should play like that exactly.
I mean, many things were influenced by like the choir, for sure. But then now in this interpretation, how do you want to play it? What is the character?
Should I sing again?
Well, oh, you could sing, or like you could describe it.
Like,
is it heroic, or is it like peaceful? Is it?
I mean, the first part I will try to do a bit heroic.
Heroic.
And then a bit more like melodical in the second part.
Okay, so let's start with heroic.
Okay.
Like the first part. Let's start with the first part. Like something like that, right? Singing in heroic. Oh, something that'll help? I think you're good with... But then here, it needs to connect. Right? So that you can take the next step. You always like stop down, da-tin, da-da-din, ti-dim, tim. So it doesn't connect. Right? Connect. Like actually, for you, you'll have to make a mini crescendo at the end of the note.
Oh, okay.
And then you have to think, like that helped you connect, but then you did the same thing the second time. So that's why I don't like to say, oh, it's like a mini crescendo. things like that can only be used sparingly, right? Da da di da di 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 di. So notice how I'm like, if I'm going da ya di, I'm getting sentimental here. Da, then I would like whack it out, yeah, because I'm a hero, right? I don't get too sentimental. Like, it's the character. Then you think back to, oh, what is the character? Right, it's a hero. Like, the hero's like, ah, ha, 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 ha. But I'm a hero, you know? It's like, that is like the attitude of a, da-dee-dee, yes, it's glory showering upon me, dee-dee, da-da-da, yadee, and I love the people too, da, da-dee-dee, da-dum, bum, ba-ra. Like, you have to strut. Is the character, right? Okay. What? How much effort do you think you're putting in? Out of 100.
I'm trying to do like, but I'm afraid.
Yeah, but how much?
Like, I'm afraid if I do too much, I mean.
Don't be afraid. You sound afraid.
Okay.
So how much?
It's 70. And now I was doing like 70%.
70%? Yeah, so give me the remainder. Don't be afraid. Okay, how does that feel? Yeah, so that's your new base, okay? That's the base that you're going to build on. That is not like, you know, it's a new base. When we reach plateaus, when we reach new peaks, always like think of it as a new base. And how are you going to maintain the base? It's like, you know, you're hiking this ever tall mountain. You need to establish a base camp. That's your new base, okay? Don't hold yourself back, okay? Always, we tend to hold ourselves back because we think, oh, I should do, you know, I'm not allowed, I'm not there yet. Why, right? You'll never be there if you always think like that. So don't hold yourself back. It's okay. Like, people who always say like, oh, you should know your place and you shouldn't play like that. They're absolute losers. Don't listen to them. You know? I think always keep in mind what is written on the page, but then like try. You shouldn't be punished for trying, right? And that's something that, you know, I want all of us to keep in mind as we take back. You should always go with a full heart, 100%. Because, you know, that's just what music is for. Yeah, don't hold back. Don't do 70. All right, thank you, Platon. So yeah, it's, I think that's an interesting thought that we arrived to. Why do we always get punished for trying, you know? I think I went through this myself as a student. Sometimes teachers would be like, hey, that's not the style of, you know? And I think it's easy to misinterpret that into, oh, I feel bad now. I did something wrong. It's hard to take feedback. It's also incredibly hard to give feedback. So there's always this balance to be had. How do you move forward despite the critical feedback that you receive? Yeah. And I think that the way that I would share with everyone to advise is to just always think about how much fun this is, to not take it too seriously. I know that sounds, and it will drive certain people a little crazy, and they'll you know, you'll still, you might get still, be put down a little bit. Like for, you shouldn't like, he's always like, but enthusiasm, I think, that's passion. When you're older, that becomes passion. Yeah. When you're younger, you're over-enthusiastic. But when you're older, it becomes passion and drive. And suddenly we all have to find that again when it's been tempered out. That's something also to think about for parents and for young ones. But I think we're up to our final one. And so let's give a warm welcome to our last performer. Christopher Yoon. Hello. Please take a bow. Nice to meet you. Hello. All right. And what are you playing? Number 2? Okay. Do you have the music? In your head. I see. All right. Well, I will, maybe there's, you have it. All right. Fabulous. Thank you, Vivian. All right. All set. Well, you sure put a smile on my face, as with everyone here. How do you feel? Terrified? You don't sound terrified. But you're giving it your all, and I mean, that's very, very inspiring. So give it another round of applause. You deserve it. Yeah, really incredible playing. Is that a 3/4 violin? Oh my gosh. So, yeah, that's not even the full size, not even the full sound yet. So I think in terms of trying to think, I really like your style. You obviously feel the music really well. Even your rhythm, your sense of rhythm is great. I think there were two parts that could help. One is which one do you want to do first? One is like the slower sections. The concept is how do you still project while playing a quiet passage, okay? So that's something that we can work on. The other is up staccato. Which one do you want to do? We'll have time for both, the slow part. Okay, let's do that first. So, from here, maybe, and also the You know what? I think this is even better as an example. The slower and more melodic lower string section, because that's often the more difficult register to try and project out sound. All right, so give this a go. Just that letter C. Oh, do you have letter C? It is 95, 94. Any bar numbers? Okay, well, we'll find it. We'll find it. You play first. That's all right. Yeah. Okay. So I think that it's beautiful. Your shape is correct. It's like really good. I wouldn't touch that. But what I would like to, may I? I think that, may I try it? Can I put a little bit more rosin on your bow? So, because this will make it so much more brilliant. And your playing will be like even more out there. And wow, this is a 3/4 bow too. It feels so tiny. I hope I'll be able to somewhat demonstrate correctly on this. Just a little bit more clarity. And then that when you sing, it can be like also like that. Because you're playing, when you play these melodic passages, you're playing for a little bit for yourself, which is good, but now I want to share with you the art of pushing out the sound. Notice that this verse, this is inner, then outer. The trick is to look out when you're practicing it, to look out as you play those notes, and your sound will change. Okay? Start from there. Dee, dee, dee. Okay, great. Oh, one thing. Let's just have him work by himself here. Can you play it again? And this time, just lift the violin up a little bit higher, and then also keep in mind to not go too far towards the fingerboard. Okay, that's already helping. And then I want you to try and think about the violin pushing against the bow. Like that, so it goes in the opposite direction of your bow. As you're going down bow, the violin goes up. And when you're going up bow, yeah, so you can just try it like, just even on one, yep. Yeah. Okay, but it worked on the first note because you did it. And then, did you hear a difference? Yeah, huge, right? Did you hear a difference? Yeah, that's the sound of depth in the playing. So when you can do it for every single note, it'll like, this is the difference. Just like a bass sound, but that's what I'm doing. First is just this. Well, I forgot, your bow was like shorter. Sorry, my bad. I forgot that, yeah, I was enjoying the sound too much. Okay, but when you're doing, and then da-da, save it. Because you can only do this once. Then you have to be tactical with it. Like that. Just try that. Can you do the against the bow thing on the B flat, on the higher B flat? Yeah, it helped a bit. And then pull your bow at the same time. Good. Yeah. See how it just gives that a little bit more shape, but it adds a big thing. All right, start again. Remember, sounding point. Don't deviate from the bridge. Okay? Go. Look at your bow. This way. Oh, sorry. Sorry. If you're going this way, if you're playing up bow, so just start from the tip of the bow again and just go chia, pull in. okay, and here, I noticed that you're using also this like more, it's called the Russian bow grip. Yeah, how do you feel about that? Do you like it? Did your teacher teach you that? Who taught you that?
I just did it by myself.
You just did it by yourself? Oh.
I think my teacher told me to change it.
Your teacher told you to change it? Oh, I use the same thing too. So we're like bow grip buddies. Okay, so let me show you something with it. So the whole difference is that normal, like this is the Franco-Belgian bow hold is like this, right? When you play, you have to you're like gripping, like rock climbing, gripping. But when you like go into this mode, you're a bit more like it's like shoveling. You're digging the sound. So what that means is that it's okay to have the higher wrist. And then you turn the bow like this, but it gets a really powerful sound, really deep sound. Just as a bass, without doing all the extra stuff. But when we come to you have to keep a certain amount of weight down in order to fully use its power. So that you can really, it gives you stability, whereas like the other bow hold, it doesn't, you slide around a bit more. The power of this bow hold is that you can stay closer to the bridge, and because there's less movement, it's like more rigid, right? Like bow changes are harder, but what you get in return, just like a heavier car or heavier battle axe, is that when you go down, it's like a clean. It goes. You know, versus, you know, that's like, after a while, your finger will tire. Here's the whole hand. So you're kind of only using like, I would say like 30% of its power right now, but you can push more, and being closer to the bridge will help, and playing against it. So why don't we start from here? Just you, it's okay. But sounding point. Okay, and then the music is getting more emotional, right? As it's building. Do you feel you can add more in those notes to help the phrase get bigger? So I would say that you can crescendo is not just getting, you know, you're doing it well with the articulation, you've got volume as well, but then now crescendo the emotion, the intensity of it. Do it again. Sounding point. Movement. Emotion. Okay, so you'll practice those separately on your own, but yeah, another way to crescendo is also with emotion, with the tension, to increase the tension. We always say that tension is bad, right? But controlled tension is good. So intentional tension, it's what creates this intense effect as people just listen, like, right? So then you can release it, and then when you release it, it's like, like that. But then you bring it back and slowly you control the audience again. So that's how, with the music, it's extremely powerful. Okay? So, all right, let's do this section. Oh, I promised you the uppo staccato. Okay. And I love that you're not afraid that it just goes, but let's hear it. Let me try with your bow so I can understand it better. Thank you. Where is this? Oh gosh. Okay, we need more rosin. No, I'm serious though, because rosin creates the friction, right? And the friction, those little grippy points, it's like, honestly, it's like rock climbing. You're climbing something, but you need the crevices, you need the footholds and the handholds to hold on to. Without rosin, everything's smooth. And it's like you're trying to rock climb up a slippery slide. And it just doesn't work. Sorry, I'm just speed learning at the same time. I think you should, because of the bow, how short it is, I think you should do a little mini down bow there. No one's gonna know. You didn't know, right? No one knew that I just did that. I think that's okay. Yeah, because otherwise, you're gonna run out of bow. And it's impossible, I mean, I just tried. I don't think we can do up bow spiccato on this bow just yet. Okay, so you're kind of stuck on the ground doing the traditional up bow staccato. Try, show me. Okay, now try to lift this finger and this finger when you're doing it. After you hit that note. So, da-yan, and then stop there, lift it up, and then just use the first and third finger. Okay, but try, is it easier at the top to do that? I want you to try to like shake the fingers faster and like as you're, like think of a tremolo, right? But then half the speed, only going in one direction. And fast, and try to do faster tremolo at the top, fast as possible. Yeah, faster. Can you just try tremolo? Show me the tremolo at the top. So according to that, is that the fastest you can tremolo?
I don't know.
Can you try a faster one? So according to that tremolo, you should be able to up bow staccato pretty fast. Now try the tremolo again, and this time dig into the sound. A little harder. Good. Now this, because you got to get that grip. And now tremolo, grip down even harder. Do a forte tremolo. Okay, good. Now do a forte tremolo and then only push up. Yeah, start with a tremolo, like that. Like this. See how fast that tremolo is? Right? Like, it's pretty fast. I use like 1, 2. So you can do maybe not 1, 3, maybe 1, 2. Try that. There you go. And then just do that. Yeah, but don't lose confidence. Like do the same exact motion. We can't do this for too long because it hurts the arm, but Like, that's the whole goal. And then the rest is just about matching the left hand to the speed of your half tremolo, right? But you can tremolo faster. We got that faster, so we're already halfway there. So the fastest tremolo you can do is always with like 1, 2. Sorry, not 1, 3. I was mistaken. And then you can do that. Okay, cool. So that'll definitely increase the speed of your, and remember, forte. Yeah. And don't practice that for more than like 5 minutes at a time. Okay. So you can rest, and then after like a bit, but then no more than 3 times a day. Okay. So when you're about to do it, think about it carefully. Don't waste your times. All right. I really liked what you did here with all the virtuosic. Oh, maybe can I? Can we hear this? Oh, sorry, here. Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. Maybe it's letter H. Do you have that? I just wanted to hear the A string part. And remember, we talked about singing and pushing that. Push. Push. Push and dig, right? Push and dig. Go. Push and dig. Good. Okay, dig a little bit more. Pushing is good from the left hand. Dig a little bit more with the right hand. Let's hear it. I think so. It's got a more, focused sound. Well done. I think, so try to remember that feeling. It's hard to remember a sound because that, and even also a feeling, because that, it's always dependent on the day. But if you do that, you already sound great. It's going to sound even better. How exciting is that? Thank you, Christopher. Oh, that's Vivian. Great. Thank you. And thank you so much. Yes. What's your name? Haywan. Thank you to Haywan as well. Thank you. All right, yeah, you can go off the stage now. Okay, there you go. All right, we have a couple minutes for some Q&A for those of you who have questions. Could be anything. It could be about the class. It could be about sound. It could be, yes? What's my rosin? I use this Pierre Guillaume rosin. I made a video about it on YouTube too, so about like how much I use, and yeah, so you can look up Ray Chen rosin on YouTube. You'll see it. Yeah.
Did you start with the Russian bow hold? And if you did, would you recommend it?
Did I start with the Russian bow hold? And if I did, would I recommend it? No, I did not start with the Russian bow hold. I started with the normal Franco-Belgian, but I always struggled with it a bit, mainly like at the end of concertos and at the end, when the music started to, like it was always fine if I was just playing at a certain volume, but once I got to like really loud and intense stuff, like the end of Tchaikovsky's first movement, stuff like that, then it started to become, like like my fingers, they're kind of thin and they would like slip in and it would feel really uncomfortable. So I would realize like I might as well just learn it I discovered that it was like an actual bow hold. And yeah, I started learning it. I would recommend trying everything. Always try everything. And you can always switch back, but when you're trying it, you know, I would give it a proper, you know, not when you're about to like do an audition or something important coming up, but like when you have a bit of time, 4 weeks, you could try it. And then I would recommend then just playing, like starting as if like just getting used to the feeling, because the main difference is when you're down here. You're going to feel like, up here it's going to feel great. You're going to be like, wow, I have so much power at the tip. I was always struggling with this. And you're going to feel like the sound is really, really great. But then at the bow change, at the frog, it's going to be where it's a little difficult. So you have to draw a figure. Like you start this way, and then you kind of, a little bit of this. You have to move the whole wrist. Whereas before, I don't think you had to move anything. It was just like, just the fingers going side by side. But this is a little bit up and down. Yeah, but give it a go. All right. Who else? Yes, over here.
2 questions. 1, what does your scales practice look like? And 2, what does a full practice session look like? Scales. 2.
What does scales look like? And 2, what does a full practice session look like? Well, I mean, the second one is like basically what I practice on Tonic. I just practice like that these days. But I would say that works for me at this point in my career with the limited time that I have. So it is not how I used to practice as a student. So that's important to address, and I always try to, like, well, usually I'm just practicing, but that's something important for context. For scales, unfortunately, I didn't do scales, and I paid the price for that in the beginning, up until when I was around 14. I didn't play a single scale. And then some of you might know the story. I switched teachers, and I was prescribed with nothing but scales and etudes for 6 months. I wasn't allowed to play a single piece. Yeah, you can imagine how that was, 6 months. And this was during when I was practicing maybe 4 hours a day. So just scales, just etudes, 4 hours, 5 hours on weekends, you know, a day when I was 14. And then this was a difficult time, but you can imagine how pleased I was when I first played the first piece, which was, I think at the time it was like Paganini Caprice. Also not really a piece. I think it was 24th. But how easy it felt at the time after all of that foundation had been finally set in. So yeah, would it be the way that I would advise like everyone to do it? No, but certainly practicing your scales. I did at the time, the Galamian. Just like that and over, and then, you know, and then, but that was, I realized later on that that's good to familiarize yourself with the instrument so you don't fear shifting. You don't fear being in higher registers. You don't fear thirds and arpeggios, because they all come up later, right, in everything that you're playing. All the shifts, all the thirds, all the sixths. You know, even that's kind of a small arpeggio. And realizing that that's what saves you time. If you practice your scales and etudes, it takes time, but you're putting that in the bank to be used later when you play your pieces. So yeah, that was something that I wish I had done earlier, but you know, I did my dues, and now I just focus on practicing the pieces, yeah, as they are, because of the time constraints. But I usually work it into an exercise. So everything can be turned into an exercise. You know, especially if it's a fast. Maybe I'm practicing my spiccato or articulation with the Tchaikovsky third movement. Maybe, you know, if I'm doing with the Brook, I'm like practicing the thirds. Okay. staccato with the thirds. So that I can, and then it's all in one, right? So that it's so that I've managed to compact things, but I'm thinking with intention about everything, even the what we told Platon to do. That up bow thirds now accent, the tip whip, like that, right? Those are things that I'm keenly aware of, so that I can, by the time of the concert, not have to focus on that. So that's what practicing is for, and that's how you should build your confidence to let go in the concert. You have already cared a lot if you have been intentional with your practicing. And that's why the tonic part of having people there, it's really, I mean, it's wonderful to share music, but for those of us who are, like, I use it differently from others. I use it in a way where it's like, I can test things out, I can make mistakes in front of people and be okay with that. To the point where it's just like, okay, if something happens, I'm always okay with that. Like, that's what I'm practicing, being okay with myself. And that could be different for everyone, right? Because let's face it, if I didn't constantly be okay with making mistakes, I might, in my own regard, a lot of people look up to me or hold me in this like high esteem, but that creates a lot of pressure. And so what I practice is like removing that pressure and being like, okay, yeah, it's like I'm a normal guy who practices too. And you've all heard me like mess up so many times or scream like, no! Like the no in the practice room is like so classic. And then when I'm on stage, it's like everything, I can focus on music. But that's, we all lead to the same destination. It's just how we get there, and the different obstacles that each individual struggles with is different. Yeah. So, yes?
Can I ask two questions? First is, what would be the next foreseeable opportunity similar to this?
You're already asking about when the next TonicCon is? Ha ha!
Second is, how to travel with the violin without being security checked, because I went through a very thorough examination.
You went through a very thorough examination? Not here, though, right?
In Oakland Airport.
Oh, at the airport. I see. So I don't know. I mean, the next TonicCon, well, I'm so glad you're enjoying this one already. We just started it, but, hopefully, we don't know yet, but maybe next year, who knows?
TonicCon, but any other opportunity for, say, Masterclass?
Oh, Masterclasses? Well, that's always like whenever I'm in each city, so yeah, but for your second question, in terms of security checks for violin, I mean, it just happens from time to time. Sometimes they'll need to do the swab. And you can imagine with a Stradivarius, it's just like, oh my gosh. Yeah, but I think that, and this is something that I've learned over time, is that you always just stay calm, be reasonable, because they've been, the TSA person is likely, you never know, you might come across a musician who really understands. But at the end of the day, these instruments have gone through a lot, so it's okay. They're not gonna with the swab, with the cloth thing, scratch it. I mean, you just say, hey, may I open the case for you? Can I help you? Sometimes it's like an unreasonable, they've had a bad day. They're just one after the other. They're like, I try to be understanding. I try to small talk them too. Oh, are you a musician? Do you play music? Get them out of their, oh, I gotta do the next thing, and treat this like a luggage, right? And but without being I've noticed that the worst thing to do is oh, please treat this with care. That's the worst thing you can do. Because then that's telling someone what to do. Are you telling me how to do my job? Is usually the answer that you'll receive. So always be like, oh, okay, do you want to take a look? It's are you a musician? It's and usually when someone's asked that, it's such a question that's either they are or they're not, and they're oh, yeah, I'm not a musician. That's right. I may not know how to handle this. So then your next question can be, oh, would you like me to help you open this? And then sometimes, I've had situations where it's they're no, I'll do it. And then, obviously my case is locked. And then they're so I watch them struggle. And then I'm just I'm just like, yeah. And they're like, I'm like, you know, watch them, and then they're like, okay. It's just like sometimes people just need to be snapped out, and then they're, oh, okay, here, I can do it for you. Kill them with kindness. All right, next one. Oh yeah, over here.
What's like your favorite three violin repertoire?
What's my favorite three?
Violin like repertoire, like pieces.
Oh, what's my favorite violin repertoire? That is, yeah, I mean, I get asked that question a lot, but you know, when you love something like music, it's like you might have a certain, it's like loving ice cream. You might have a certain profile of flavor that you're into, but that could change as well with time, with age, with different experiences. Who you go to the ice cream bar with, right? Who introduces you to that new flavor, right? And it could be a great flavor that just wasn't the right time for you. There are many factors, but for me, I'm starting, you know, I try to keep an open mind so that I can be, because my role is to love I'm the ice cream guy. I'm the guy who sells ice cream. I can't really sell an ice cream that I don't like, but I know that there are flavors that I may not like that other people do. So how do I do that responsibly, right? I think that's the part about being a musician, that the choices that you make. It's like, maybe not every piece is for you. And there are definitely some flavors of pieces that I'm just like, you know, I think someone else would sell this better than I do, right? I tend to go for stuff that is really more, I'm able to present across with emotions. So I like romantic stuff, romantic era stuff, like Brahms, Tchaikovsky, you know, all that kind of stuff, Rachmaninoff. Like for me, there's something about being so honest and direct with your feelings and emotions that is very pure. To me, that's very pure. And it's what connects us all as humans. So I love the romantic era repertoire for that. I also, though, like, there are, like, you know, later neo-romantic stuff is also great too. It's just written in a different era, but in that style. So that style is my favorite flavor of pieces. Stuff that is not trying to be intellectual for the sake of, like, keeping people out. I find that oftentimes pieces that are difficult to understand were written with that intent. They were written by people who already were sick, we were so overflowed. It was a different time when classical music was just everywhere. People already knew all the pieces every day. There was no Taylor Swift, right? There was not Justin Bieber. It was just like, it was just that. You could imagine they needed something different. But we live in a different time now where the choices are unimaginable and people don't know all the repertoire. So there's a bit of a difference now. But there are still people who, like, they know it so much that they are looking for something different. So different audiences. All right. Oh, you're in the front row here. Yes.
Do you have any tips for like practice?
Do I have any tips for practice? Yeah. I mean, yeah, use Tonic. You practice in front of people. I mean, practicing in front of people definitely helps you, you know, like, it depends. Everyone's struggle is different. So I would say be mindful. Make sure that you're not practicing mindlessly, and that's good. That's like a good place to start. Yes, green. Oh, you're both wearing green. Okay, both. Yeah, go. One at a, yeah, you go first, and then you can go next. Oh, maybe microphone? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, now you get the microphone. I was thinking about the live stream, and suddenly I was like, yeah, there are those watching on the live stream right now. And how are they going to hear the questions? I did it wrong.
How would you recommend practicing the transition between bow holds?
Transition between, like just making a smooth bow transition?
Franco-Belgian to the other type of
Oh.
bow hold?
Okay, well, you need time. You need also the right repertoire. So I would say it's probably not good to learn something that's really difficult, because we're always using repertoire to kind of gauge where we're at, right? It's like, oh, now I'm ready for this piece, and I'm ready for that piece. So if you're going to make a switch like that, treat it like it's its own piece. So don't think about like going to the next level yet or jumping. If you're going to think about switching, just maybe play another piece, but on the same level. And why the other piece is because then you're not going into habits that you're like, okay, let's say you learn, I don't know, the Bruch Violin Concerto. This happened to me when I was 12. And I learned it poorly though. And it was really out of tune. I hadn't practiced the scales for 6 months yet, right? And so it was super out of tune. And everything that I did, I couldn't correct it. But then I learned Tchaikovsky when I was 13, and it was right before I did the scales, but my technique improved a little bit, and I was able to play that somewhat better. But when I went back to Bruch, it was like awful. So there's something there that when we practice, we create these grooves, these rivers in our mind that it's called habit. You know, it's like a bad habit. We practice for good habits. Muscle memory is a habit. The fact that we can just like, you know, go ahead and start playing stuff that we haven't played in a long time, that's a habit. So you want to put in good habits, and part of transitioning this bow hold is to make sure that you're setting yourself up for success in the best way possible, by learning something of similar. Don't stretch too much. Yes, the other green shirt, sorry.
In the youth orchestra that I'm in, there are only 3 violas, and I'm one of them.
Okay.
How do I make sure that we're heard and appreciated?
Oh. How can you make sure you're heard and appreciated? And, you know, I think that is a, I am so sorry to, do you mean like heard, like sound-wise or emotionally?
Both.
Okay. That might be just the most difficult question I've received all day today. As a violinist who occasionally plays viola, I'm not maybe the best person to ask this question to, but I do think that, like, you know, it remains a fact. We need the violists, for sure. We definitely, so, you know, you could organize a strike, or you could just organize your 3 viola people to, you know, stand outside with a sign and be like, we're not going in until you make us feel seen and heard. Like, try playing the piece without us. But don't try that in like a marching band, okay? Because like then no one's gonna actually, This is like a normal orchestra ensemble? Yeah. You should just not play during the viola solo. No, wait, actually don't do that, because then they might think that you're doing that not on purpose. But you know, I think it's just like, the violists do get a brunt of all of the jokes that we have as musicians, but it's because they tend to be really nice people, you know, and I've tried to refrain from making more viola jokes as I've gotten older and more mature. You'll notice that in my videos that I no longer, you know, play into the viola joke thing anymore. And but it is a lot of fun. So, you know, it's it's definitely, we appreciate violists, and I hope you at least feel heard today. Yes. All right. I think that's all we have time for right now, because the live stream is also finishing and we've got to move on to the next thing. So enjoy your day. There are lots of events, and I'll see you around. Definitely check out the Tonic stage. This is happening out in the plaza outside the Colburn Cafe. You probably saw that. Lots and lots of exciting events. Check out the program booklet that you guys have. There's a whole list of events that are happening all around the campus. So I'll see you around. I'll be popping in and out to each and every one of those. So have a great day. Have a great TonicCon first day. Thank you. There will also, in case you guys want to grab photos and stuff, there will be time after the concert in the evening concerts for that. So we'll make sure that we have that process set up for you. Thank you.